Welcome back to another episode. We do have a lot of things to cover. The main thing is the futures are up right now as there were some tweets and some information that came out from the Trump administration. On today's episode, I want to obviously cover that, but there's also a lot of exciting news impacting the semiconductor market from companies like Nvidia, from companies like Marvell and Synopsys that are reporting earnings later this week. So let's take a closer look in today's episode.
I want to thank The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video, and check out fool.com/Jose for the 10 best stocks to buy now. With that link, you get a promotional offer for the subscription service. Now, let's continue with today's episode.
All right, so first, let's just start off with what I believe is probably the main topic and the most popular topic that most people are going to be watching. And sorry for this video being out a little bit later than normal. I am on vacation right now, but I'm still trying to do my daily videos. Now, the first thing is Trump is delaying the 50% tariffs on the European Union to July 9th. So right now, it does seem like the European Commission said that she needed until July 9th to reach a good deal. And this is just pretty much providing kind of a nice bullish sentiment for the market, even though tomorrow the market will be closed. The futures are already open. And this is just a great indication of maybe how the market can be when it opens up on Tuesday. But we can see the NASDAQ is up about 1% on the futures. Obviously, NASDAQ is very tech heavy. So this could be very bullish for our semiconductor companies, our AI companies. Now, on the long term of things, this just continues to show that at least for now, there are trade deals happening. We just got the UAE about a week or two ago. We have UK a few weeks ago as well. We've had some great talks about China as well over the past weekend. So overall, kind of like a nice bullish sentiment of at least maybe not the end of the world with tariffs and everything right now. So that's the first thing. The second thing within this is I want to make a random hypothesis or a random guess here, or random, I don't know if it's a prediction. I don't want to say it's gonna happen, but I do believe there's a chance. One thing that we did see before the UAE trade deal announcement with the United States was OpenAI introduced what they called OpenAI for countries, and it allowed the ability for countries to be able to build their own Stargate project of massive AI infrastructure. Now, the way this product is designed by OpenAI is they do mention that it is heavily monitored by the United States government. And I do think that the United States, the current administration, is actually using this as a trade tactic. So in my opinion, if we see kind of trade deals and Stargate projects, the Stargate products are usually based on US AI, USA technology being Nvidia and Oracle. So I believe it is a possibility that as we start to get maybe more countries trade deals with the United States, one way of United States winning could be by a lot of these open AI for countries where we start to see Stargates all over the world. So some random thoughts there. I mean, I think the first one we saw was the Stargate UAE, and that was one of the major trade deals. So this one could be interesting. And if we do see kind of the EU introduced a Stargate project of its own, I think that would be very bullish for the AI space and for companies like Nvidia and Oracle. Now, the other thing I want to jump into is WSJ did have a pretty cool article about what the era of sovereign AI means for chip makers. And they mentioned that a lot of analysts have talked about sovereign AI. Here we can see a Bank of America analyst mentioned that sovereign AI nicely complements commercial cloud investments. And Stacy of Bernstein mentioned that investors who are worried about AI capex sustainability, they now have another deep pocket customer willing and capable to spend large amounts of money on a clearly strategic push as Saudi Arabia attempts to position itself as a regional and global AI hub. So one of the big fears for the AI market companies like Nvidia is that capital expenditure from big tech player is going to slow down. But what we're seeing now is there's another huge customer coming out of here, and that's sovereign AI. We see it perfectly with UAE. Now, I think this is a great segue of why you should join this channel, subscribe to the channel. It's completely free. Because if you look at my video from December 29th of 2023, we've talked about NVIDIA stock, everything about sovereign AI. NVIDIA has actually been talking about sovereign AI for almost 2 years now. And I've actually done a really deep dive on what that meant. And we're kind of seeing that in fruition right now. So again, if you haven't, make sure to hit the thumbs up and the subscribe button. We're trying to hit 75,000 by the end of this year. And I really, really need your support to be able to do that. So that's a pretty interesting note there. Now, kind of following here with NVIDIA, actually maybe some memory news. So TrendForce recently released an article on May 2nd of 2024 that HBM4 is becoming very hard to kind of create. We still have the big players there, but because of the manufacturing complexities, premium is expected to exceed about 30%. The main player here is expected to be SK Hynix, which is projected to have over 50% of the market share. But you also do see Samsung and Micron will eventually enter this race. Now, if you are a memory investor, companies like Micron, then this could be seen as a bullish case if Micron is able to showcase some strong growth in HBM4 and innovations in HBM4, then that could mean that this company would be doing really good in forms of potential earnings and guidance. So as long as Micron is innovating at a great pace in the HBM market, then there could be a nice growth opportunity for the stock. Now, kind of jumping into here, something that is becoming very popular right now is NVIDIA and China. So there are reports that NVIDIA is set to launch its next chip for the Chinese AI market in the upcoming months. And the price of this chip is actually expected to be pretty low. The new chip is going to be the B40. We kind of talked a little bit about it. It's expected to enter production as soon as next month and is said to be available to the Chinese AI market by July. Now, this is going to be something interesting. We're going to have to hear about it maybe during the earnings call. I hope management gives us a little bit color of what they expect about the AI space, because for some analysts, this could be about a $10 billion revenue potential for NVIDIA in the Chinese market with following kind of US regulations. So something that is going to be crucial, and we're going to need to listen to it in the earnings call. Now, the next two things that I want to talk about are upcoming earnings, and I do have kind of OpenAI here to help us. So Marvell is expected to report earnings this week on Thursday, I believe. Yes, I think it's the day after NVIDIA. Revenue is expected to be about $1.88 billion. Earnings per share is expected to be about 0.61 cents. Now, Marvell has taken a huge hit recently. I mean, the stock year to date is down about 46%. So what are some things investors need to be looking at? First is the AI custom silicon momentum. So there are talks that maybe they might be losing some AI chip custom solutions to other players. Are we going to hear anything about that? Also, are they winning any new customers as well? I think that's going to be crucial. The second thing is this company just recently announced a partnership with NVIDIA with the NVLink Fusion. I would love to hear a little bit more about that. Unfortunately, the company did push out their investor day. Originally was supposed to be this year, but they said due to macroeconomics, they're pushing it to next year. Regardless, later this in June, I believe it's June 17th, they are gonna have their AI events. Like I mentioned, one of the biggest things is there has been a lot of chatter and discussions that they did lose their contract with Amazon for the Trainium 3. So any color on that, in my opinion, will be the biggest thing. So that and whatever the company kind of tells us about their AI event on June 17th, I think are going to be the most crucial thing for the long-term potential. Now for Synopsys, I think Synopsys is not going to be anything that's going to be out that crazy or it's going to move dramatically. We can see the stock. The overall street is expecting about $6.78 billion. Earnings per share about $14.92 for the fiscal year. Now for the quarter, we're expecting about $1.6 billion in revenue and about $3.39 in earnings per share. All the numbers, both for this upcoming quarter and for guidance, are within what the company has actually provided in their own guidance. So nothing crazy there. I don't think there's anything that investors should be kind of really looking for. The only main thing I would say is they do have an acquisition with Ansys, and a few regulators have kind of cleared the deal, maybe some updates on that. The other thing is very similar to Marvell. They did have kind of that partnership with the NVLink Fusion. What do they have to say with that? What kind of market opportunities are they seeing with that? But outside of that, I think Synopsys is going to be a pretty simple and quiet earnings. Now, I don't own Synopsys, but I do own Marvell. Marvell is one of those stocks that I own because I believe there is growth opportunities, but it comes with a nice amount of risk, right? If they did lose that kind of customer with Amazon, that could be very bearish for the stock. I mean, the stock is down roughly 46% year to date. Synopsys is a safe play in my opinion. Well, nothing's ever a safe play, but it's a massive opportunity play in my opinion. I don't think it's bad at these price points. I don't own it. But if it does fall back and maybe some of my other stocks don't, I wouldn't mind buying this individually either. So there is potential here as well if I wanted to enter in this market, and there is a sell-off after earnings. So I hope you guys enjoyed this quick update. Take care, have a good day, and see you all next time.